Welcome the rare gems. Not everyone who is quiet is hiding weakness. Some are simply protecting their peace. The Sigma female moves through life like a whisper in a world that never stops shouting. While others crave attention, she prefers presence. She doesn't chase the spotlight or fight to be noticed because she understands something most people don't. Visibility often comes with a price. The more people see you, the more they assume they know you, and that illusion is something she refuses to feed. Her power is subtle but undeniable. She knows how to walk into a room and be noticed without saying a word, and just as easily how to disappear when she chooses. The Sigma female hides in plain sight, not because she's timid, but because she's strategic. She knows that the loudest person rarely has the deepest strength. Her calm confidence draws attention only when she wants it to, and her silence often speaks louder than any words could. What sets her apart is her self-awareness. She doesn't define herself through the validation of others. Her quiet ways are her form of control. They allow her to protect her energy, study her surroundings, and move through life with purpose. In a world obsessed with being seen, the Sigma female chooses something far more powerful, being understood by few and known by even fewer. In this video, we'll uncover 10 bulletproof reasons how the Sigma female hides in plain sight while remaining one of the most powerful presences in any room. Let's dive into it. The rare gems. Number 1. They blend through observation, not imitation. Sigma females have a gift that most people overlook. They don't walk into a room trying to be noticed or liked. They walk in to understand. Every detail matters to them. The tone of voices, the energy in the air, the way people move when they feel confident or insecure. They see things most people are too busy talking to notice. It's not about copying behavior or mirroring others to blend in. It's about reading the environment like a map and knowing exactly how to navigate it without losing their identity. Imagine walking into a room full of people competing to be the loudest. A Sigma female doesn't raise her voice. She lowers it. She studies the space, senses the rhythm, and aligns herself with it so naturally that no one even realizes how centered she truly is. She becomes part of the scene without being consumed by it. It's the difference between being in the spotlight and being the person who controls the lighting. Her quiet observation is her power. While others rush to prove they belong, she takes her time to understand what actually belongs to her. She notices the details that reveal true intentions: a nervous smile, a forced laugh, a subtle shift in tone. These small cues tell her more about people than their words ever could. This is why Sigma females rarely find themselves in the wrong company. Their observation protects them from manipulation, drama, and energy that drains. They don't adapt by imitation. They adapt by understanding. It's a refined skill that keeps them balanced and authentic, even in chaotic environments. In a world that glorifies noise, the Sigma female uses stillness as her strategy. Her presence doesn't beg for attention. It commands quiet respect. And that's the secret behind her ability to blend in while still standing apart. Number 2. They wear normality as armor. A Sigma female knows the world is obsessed with showing off. Everyone wants to look special, louder, and more important than they really are. But she moves differently. She doesn't compete for attention because she knows power isn't about being seen. It's about being in control of what people see. Her strength hides behind a calm, simple image that most mistake for ordinary. What they call plain is actually precision. She dresses in a way that doesn't scream for validation. She speaks with measured confidence, not noise. She walks into rooms without demanding space, yet somehow space rearranges itself around her presence. By appearing normal, she shields her real depth from shallow eyes. And that's the secret. While others reveal everything to prove something, she hides everything to protect what's real. Imagine being in a workplace where everyone tries to outshine each other. One person brags about achievements, another constantly seeks praise. The Sigma female just does her work quietly. Weeks later, when a problem arises, everyone turns to her for the solution because, without even trying, she has been quietly observing and mastering what others were too busy flaunting. Her normality wasn't passiveness, it was her shield. This ability gives her the upper hand in life. People underestimate her, thinking she's simple or easy to read, until she surprises them with intelligence, clarity and control that leave them speechless. She doesn't need to prove she's powerful. Her actions speak when the time is right. Her normality is her invisibility cloak. It gives her freedom to move through life without unnecessary noise or attention. It lets her think, plan, and grow without interference. That quiet image she wears is not weakness. It's a form of mastery. Because while others chase validation, the Sigma female builds silent power that no one sees coming. Number 3. They disguise intelligence as curiosity. A Sigma female knows that showing off intelligence often attracts the wrong kind of attention. Some people feel threatened by it, others try to compete with it. So instead of announcing how smart she is, she quietly collects information by asking questions that seem innocent. Her mind works like a radar. She scans conversations, situations and emotions with precision, drawing conclusions that most people wouldn't reach even with all the facts laid out. When she asks, "What made you decide that?" or "How did that work out for you?" it doesn't sound intrusive. It sounds like genuine curiosity. But underneath that calm tone, she's analyzing patterns, studying motives, and understanding what drives people. Her curiosity is a filter. It separates truth from pretense without her having to expose her hand. Imagine a meeting where everyone tries to impress the boss with loud ideas. The Sigma female listens, nods, and drops a single question that changes the direction of the discussion. She doesn't argue. She redirects the entire energy of the room with one precise line. By the time others realize what happened, she has already gathered the insights she needs to move ahead quietly. People often mistake her questions for lack of awareness, not realizing that she's leading them to reveal their intentions. It's a form of social chess. While others play loudly and show their pieces, she wins by simply observing the board. Her curiosity protects her from manipulation. It keeps her informed without ever exposing her own thoughts too soon. And the beauty of it is, people love talking to her because they feel seen and heard, never realizing that she's learning everything she needs from their words. For a Sigma female, curiosity is not weakness, it's controlled intelligence. It's how she stays 2 steps ahead, while appearing completely unbothered, quietly turning every conversation into her advantage. Number 4. They don't correct misconceptions about them. A Sigma female understands something most people never learn. Clarity is not owed to everyone. She doesn't rush to explain herself or fix misunderstandings because she knows that most people only listen to confirm their biases, not to understand the truth. So instead of wasting her energy defending her name, she stays silent and lets people create whatever version of her fits their imagination. In her mind, every wrong assumption is a shield that protects her real story. People often crave to be understood, but the Sigma female doesn't need that kind of validation. She knows her actions speak for her, and time always reveals what words cannot. If someone believes she's cold, arrogant, or mysterious, she doesn't fight it. She lets them. That false image becomes a layer of armor, a distraction that keeps unwanted eyes away from her reality. Imagine a woman at work who doesn't engage in gossip or constant chatter. Some call her distant, others assume she thinks she's better than everyone else. But what they don't see is her deep sense of focus and peace. She's not trying to prove them wrong. She's too busy building something that will eventually silence them without her saying a word. This calm acceptance gives the Sigma female quiet power. She knows people project their insecurities onto others, so their opinions are never really about her. The more they misunderstand her, the freer she becomes. By refusing to correct misconceptions, she protects her energy and keeps control over what truly matters, her inner world. The fewer people know her truth, the harder it is for anyone to use it against her. That is the brilliance of the Sigma female. She doesn't fight to be seen accurately. She chooses to remain misunderstood because she knows mystery is safer than exposure. Number 5. They master emotional camouflage. A Sigma female has a rare kind of emotional intelligence that doesn't scream for attention. She reads people not just by what they say, but by what they avoid saying. The pauses, the tone shifts, the unspoken energy that fills a room. She can sense tension before it's visible, joy before it's expressed, and discomfort before it's acknowledged. It's not magic, it's awareness. Her emotions are deeply tuned in, but never on display. While others wear their hearts openly, hoping to be understood, the Sigma female keeps her emotions behind a calm, unreadable expression. It's not because she's cold or detached. It's because she values control. She knows that when emotions are exposed too easily, they can be studied, manipulated, or weaponized. So she shows what she chooses to show, nothing more. In social settings, she adjusts her tone, her expression, even her body language to match the emotional climate of the moment. If the room is light-hearted, she laughs just enough to blend in. If the energy shifts, she adapts instantly without anyone noticing the transition. To the outside world, she seems effortlessly in sync, but inside she's observing, never losing her emotional balance. Imagine someone trying to provoke her during an argument. Instead of reacting, she maintains composure, watching as the other person reveals more through anger than she ever does through calm. That restraint disarms people. They think they've connected with her or gotten under her skin, but in reality, they've only touched the surface. Her emotional camouflage is not a mask, it's protection. It allows her to understand the world without letting the world understand her. In a society that overshares and overreacts, the Sigma female's ability to stay emotionally unreadable is her quiet superpower. It keeps her mysterious, in control, and untouchable. Number 6. They protect their past like classified information. A Sigma female treats her history with the same level of care a spy treats sensitive files. Not because she's hiding something shameful, but because she understands the value of privacy in a world that constantly demands emotional exposure. She knows that once people gain access to your past, they start to interpret your present through their own biases. And she refuses to let anyone hold that kind of power over her story. Her past is not a performance for sympathy or attention. She doesn't use it to impress or explain herself. When she shares a memory, it's intentional, almost surgical. She chooses moments that teach a lesson or make a point, not ones that open wounds. Her experiences have shaped her strength, but she keeps that growth sacred, never letting others define her through the lens of what she's endured. Imagine a friend group where everyone constantly overshares, failed relationships, painful mistakes, personal struggles. The Sigma female listens with empathy, but never competes for attention through her pain. When asked about her own story, she gives just enough to satisfy curiosity, but not enough to expose her heart. That's not emotional distance, it's wisdom. She understands that privacy is peace. Her silence about the past also confuses people who rely on vulnerability to create control. They can't use her history against her because they don't know it. They can't guilt her, compare her, or manipulate her through sympathy. She owns her narrative completely. For the Sigma female, her past is not a burden she carries. It's a foundation she built quietly. Every lesson, every scar, every victory belongs to her alone. And by protecting her story, she protects her power. In a world that overshares to feel seen, she stays selective to stay free. Number 7. They blend intellect with unpredictability. A Sigma female's mind is a world few can truly navigate. She can analyze a situation with razor-sharp clarity, then shift into deep intuition that no logic can explain. That combination of intellect and emotional depth makes her fascinating and nearly impossible to predict. Just when people start to think they've figured her out, she changes her rhythm entirely, not to confuse anyone, but to protect her peace. Her unpredictability isn't chaos, it's control. She knows the moment people can fully read you, they can begin to manage you. So she keeps her layers fluid, letting only fragments of her thoughts and feelings surface at any time. One moment she's expressive and engaging. The next she withdraws into silence, recharging in her own world. This rhythm keeps her centered and ensures no one ever holds full access to her mind. Imagine a person trying to box her into a label. Too emotional, too logical, too independent. The Sigma female listens, smiles, and effortlessly breaks the stereotype with her next move. If she's quiet, it's because she's observing. If she's talkative, it's because she's already several steps ahead in thought. Every shift is intentional. This blend of intellect and unpredictability is what makes her presence magnetic. People are drawn to her without fully understanding why. Her mystery isn't forced. It's a natural result of someone who lives guided by inner rhythm rather than public expectation. She doesn't crave consistency for approval. Her balance comes from knowing when to engage and when to retreat, when to think and when to feel. And in that flow, she finds her power. The Sigma female is never where others expect her to be, mentally, emotionally, or spiritually. That's her silent brilliance. It's not that she hides her mind, it's that she moves it beyond reach. Number 8. They use simplicity as a disguise. A Sigma female understands that the loudest person in the room is rarely the most powerful one. She doesn't decorate her life with unnecessary noise or constant display because she knows true strength doesn't need to shout. Her simplicity is not a lack of taste or ambition. It's a deliberate strategy. She keeps her style, her words, and her environment clean and calm, knowing that subtlety gives her freedom that attention never could. She doesn't chase luxury to prove success or post her achievements to gain validation. Instead, she moves through life with quiet grace. Her clothing is often minimal, her choices understated, yet everything about her carries intention. She has mastered the art of being impressive without trying to impress anyone. People may overlook her at first, but when she speaks or acts, her depth becomes undeniable. Imagine a gathering where everyone is eager to show off the latest gadgets, designer clothes, and perfect filters. The Sigma female blends in, smiling softly, never competing for the spotlight. Yet when conversations deepen, she's the one everyone turns to for clarity or insight. Her simplicity makes her approachable, while her intelligence makes her unforgettable. This modest approach keeps curious eyes from prying too deeply. Those who judge her by appearances underestimate her, and that's exactly what she prefers. Their assumptions become her cover, giving her space to move, plan, and grow without interference. To her, simplicity is freedom. It protects her peace, shields her privacy, and allows her to focus on what truly matters, clarity of mind and purpose. The world often confuses noise with importance, but the Sigma female knows that silence, subtlety, and simplicity are her greatest forms of camouflage. She doesn't hide because she's afraid to be seen. She hides because she chooses to be known only by those who truly see. Number 9. They operate with internal validation, not applause. A Sigma female moves through life guided by something deeper than compliments or approval. She doesn't chase likes, praise, or public recognition because her sense of worth comes from within. She listens to her inner compass, not the crowd's opinion. This quiet independence makes her stand out in a world where most people need validation to feel secure. When she succeeds, she celebrates in silence. When she fails, she reflects privately and grows stronger. She doesn't post every win or seek reassurance that she's doing well. Her fulfillment comes from knowing she stayed true to her values, even when no one was watching. That's what makes her powerful. Her peace isn't up for negotiation. Imagine two people working on the same project. One constantly checks for praise, refreshing notifications, craving approval. The Sigma female, on the other hand, works quietly, perfecting her craft for her own satisfaction. When the results finally speak, everyone is surprised at how much she's achieved without ever announcing it. Her calm confidence unsettles those who rely on external noise to feel alive. This kind of internal validation protects her from manipulation. No one can control her through flattery or criticism because her self-worth isn't built on others' opinions. Whether praised or ignored, she stays centered. It's not arrogance, it's emotional maturity. She understands that applause fades, but self-trust lasts. Her strength lies in her ability to move with purpose even when the world isn't watching. She doesn't need to be seen to know her value. She doesn't need to be praised to keep going. The Sigma female's validation is self-generated, and that makes her untouchable. In a society addicted to attention, she remains grounded, guided by something applause could never give: authentic peace. Number 10. They never broadcast their moves. A Sigma female believes that real success doesn't need an audience. She plans quietly, works consistently, and reveals nothing until the results are undeniable. You won't find her announcing her next step or posting half-finished dreams just to be noticed. She understands that attention can dilute power. Every time you tell the world what you're about to do, you invite opinions, distractions, and sometimes envy. She avoids all of that by keeping her path private. Her silence isn't secrecy, it's discipline. She knows that energy is better spent doing the work than talking about it. When others are busy performing progress, she's making it. By the time people realize what she's built, it's already standing tall and unshakable. That's her strategy. She moves like the wind, unseen, yet impossible to ignore once her impact is felt. Imagine someone who tells everyone about a new idea they're chasing. They get excitement at first, but the motivation fades because the reward came too soon, from attention, not achievement. The Sigma female never falls into that trap. She stays low-key until the job is done, and when she finally reveals her success, it speaks louder than any announcement could. Her ability to keep quiet gives her control. It protects her goals from being influenced, copied, or sabotaged. It also preserves her peace because she doesn't owe anyone explanations for what she's working on. Every move she makes is between her and her purpose. In a world where everyone overshares, the Sigma female moves in silence and lets her results echo. Her accomplishments arrive without warning, and by the time people start asking how she did it, she's already planning her next move. That's the power of quiet execution. It's not seen coming, but it's impossible to ignore. In final words, power doesn't always roar. Sometimes it moves so quietly that by the time you notice, it has already changed everything. The Sigma female is the embodiment of that quiet power. She doesn't need to announce herself or demand attention. Her strength works in silence, shaping her world with intention and calm precision. While others are busy proving who they are, she simply is, focused, grounded, and unreadable. That is how she hides in plain sight. What makes her so fascinating is that her invisibility is not weakness, it's choice. She knows that being constantly visible often means being constantly drained. So she operates in her own rhythm, revealing just enough to connect, but never enough to be fully known. Every silence, every subtle move, every layer of simplicity is part of her design. It's how she protects her peace in a noisy world that mistakes exposure for relevance. Her hidden nature gives her freedom. It allows her to move through life without being boxed in by expectations or labels. She doesn't need to compete because she's not playing the same game. And that's what makes her unstoppable. People may overlook her at first, but when her results, strength, or wisdom appear, they can't look away. In a world obsessed with attention, the Sigma female's greatest rebellion is her restraint. She reminds us that true influence doesn't come from being seen, it comes from being centered. Her power isn't about standing out, it's about standing firm. She teaches that sometimes the most extraordinary strength is the kind that walks quietly, observes deeply, and acts only when the moment truly matters. Thank you for watching The Rare Gems, and God bless you.